to the Veterans Summit, and like to thank you for being here. I'm Barbara Elowski, and I'm spending this year at the Chancellor's office in Sacramento, loving it. And I'm here to introduce our two speakers, Maureen White, who I work with at the Chancellor's office, and I've just been delighted to get to know her, and Jerry Egloff, who's at the Employment Development Department. You can read their bios in the program here. They've actually been printed in here on page yes, under biographies, since the pages aren't numbered. Jerry is the very first one of the biographies, and I'd also like to point out that what is not here is that he is a Navy veteran, having served in the Navy from 1967 to 1971. And Maureen is the almost very last one listed, and she is on the inside cover page across from that, and she is working in the Chancellor's office with Workforce and Economic Development. And just the only housekeeping part is that at the end, if you could remember, since this is the first session that we've had as a breakout, to fill out the yellow form. You actually don't turn it in till the end of tomorrow, but while your thoughts are fresh, and although some of you are much younger, so you might remember till tomorrow what you actually have to comment, but I have to do this today when it's here. I'd like to fill this out. And then at the end, when we have Q&A, I'll be using this same microphone with you, so you as well could feel foolish for not being able to hear it amplify, but still talking into it. So I'd like to first introduce Maureen and Jerry. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. We all know that this isn't amplified, and that's okay. Because we're videotaping this, and actually I was going to ask Barbara to do this, so I'm going to do it. I am going to give you Jerry's bio, because those who are watching the video obviously are not going to be reading this. So I'd like to say a few words about him, and then we want to find out who all of you are, what is the wisdom in the room. I like to do that for every presentation. So Jerry Egloff began his career in state service in 1992, working for the Employment Development Department as an employment program representative in Placerville. During this time, Jerry served as a local veterans employment representative. In 2002, he was promoted to a supervisory level position and transferred to the Roseville cluster of offices, where one of his assignments was that of program manager for the Veterans Services Program. In 2008, Jerry was promoted to office manager. In this capacity, he was selected to participate in the statewide Veterans Program Reengineering Work Group. In 2011, Jerry received another promotion to the position of Deputy Division Chief, Northern Workforce Services Division. He continues to be involved in veteran program issues, where he recently developed and piloted a new type of service delivery for the veterans programs of Northern Division. He's going to talk about that. Before Jerry will be doing his presentation first, and I will come in after that. I want to find out what is the wisdom in this room. And since this is the first time many of us are meeting each other, since this is the first workshop after lunch, let's start with our colleague behind us, in the back of the room, and just tell us, I know we can't be passing around the microphone for this, so just tell us where you're working and how are you serving vets where you're working, and we'll just go quickly around the room.
Hello, I'm Mark Fu. I'm a counselor at EDD College, so we work with many veterans.
Okay, thank you, welcome. And?
I'm John Castillo. I'm from AMVETS, and I run a college program at colleges on healthcare and compensation, awareness the last 3 years, and seen over.
I think they want to get this on the video.
Through that program, so we're trying to link up with the education staff at vet centers and contribute in the wellness of transitioning veterans.
Okay, thank you, welcome. And?
Hello, my name is Desiree Marquez, and I'm the Supervisor of Special Programs at Mount San Antonio College, and I oversee the Veterans Resource Center and Veterans Services Center. And when we have no staffing, I'm also the certifying official.
Yep. Sounds familiar for community colleges. And you just came in, we just want to know where you're working and how you're supporting vets.
Okay. My name is Margot, and I work at De Anza College, and I'm a general counselor as well as one of the vet counselors as well.
I know this is kind of awkward, but we'll do the best we can. And?
Monica Christensen. I work at Citrus College. I'm the project director for the Veterans Center, and I'm also a mental health person. Hi, I'm Becky Urrutia Lopez, with Foothill College. I'm faculty member and teach at the Menlo Park VA on job search skills and career resources.
Thank you. And Hortensia?
Hi, my name is Hortensia Keene, and I'm from Cosumnes River College in Sacramento, and I'm a counselor working with our vet students.
Lilia Tanakayama, Dean of Student Affairs, Santa Ana College, and a new recipient of the Veterans Upward Bound program.
Kathleen Moberg, Dean of Admissions, Veterans, and Assessment at De Anza College.
Jerry Salillo, veteran working with veterans as a counselor at Foothill College.
Teresa Ong, Director of Veterans Resource Center at Foothill College.
Thank you. Welcome. And?
I'm Fran Chandler, faculty member in the business department from Santa Monica College, but more particular to this group, I serve as a special liaison from our department to the veterans to ensure that we know there's something that the business department should be doing for veterans, and it's my job to find out what.
Hi, I'm Dennis Frisch. I'm president of FAC and also a faculty member at Santa Monica College, where I teach Chinese history. I'm not really working in a veteran center, though.
For the faculty who do, thank you.
Jim Suits at De Anza College. I teach criminal justice, and I'm here mainly because a lot of vets are going into various public safety areas.
That's one of the professions we're looking at. Thank you. And?
Hi, I'm Ingrid Thompson. I'm with the Workforce Institute, San Jose Evergreen Community College District, and my role is really, we're the entrepreneurial unit on behalf of the district, so we're looking for additional resources to fund our veterans programs for both Evergreen Valley College and San Jose City College.
I'm Judy Wessler. I'm with San Jose City College in the Career Tech Education Department.
Thank you. And?
It's okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Romeo Garcia. I'm director of the Federal TRIO Program, Student Support Services, and other student support programs at our college, Kenyatta College, which is right up the hill here in Redwood City, and I now oversee the Veterans Resource and Opportunity Center.
Good afternoon. Tamara Jameson, West Los Angeles College, counselor for veteran students.
I got you wrapped up. Sharon Vogel, nursing instructor from Butte College, and we have a lot of veterans in our nursing program, and this is very real and profound, so very applicable.
Hello, I'm Jake Catan, Sacramento City College. I run the Veterans Resource Center on campus and work with student services.
Hello, my name is Barbara Gottlieb, and I'm probably the only person in the room who's not working because I have just retired from UC Berkeley in HR and have a background in career counseling, and I'm actually looking for some volunteer activities to work with the vets or the vet resource centers.
If anybody has any ideas, let me know. Yeah, we're gonna talk about HR, so we're glad you're here. Thank you, Barbara. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yes, my name is Jeremy Milio. I'm at College of San Mateo, and I'm an admissions assistant and certifying official for veterans benefits.
Great, thank you. Welcome.
Scott Valverde in the California Community College's Chancellor's Office. I work in the DSPS program and working on various statewide initiatives involving veterans, including the High Tech Center Training Unit VRC project.
Scott and I work together in the Chancellor's Office. And?
My name is Chiquita Williams-Cox. I'm the other half of Jeremy there at the College of San Mateo as the certifying official for the veterans.
Hello, I'm Athenaeus Ocampo. I am counseling faculty at El Camino College, where all of our counselors get the privilege of working with veterans.
Hi, my name is Marcelo Cabral, and I'm with El Camino College with the first year experience.
Great, thank you. And?
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Beth Barrios, and I am also a counselor at El Camino College.
Welcome. And? I know this is different, but it's okay.
I'm Stephanie Bennett, and I also am a counselor at El Camino College.
And? El Camino or no? Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Anna Ruiz, and I'm from Cabrillo College, and I'm here with my certifying official, and we're just trying to get resources for our vet center that we've had for over a year now.
Thank you. And
we're back to El Camino. Cynthia Mosqueda, I'm a faculty coordinator. I'm also on the FAC board.
thank you. Welcome. And
Kelsey Eno, a counselor also at El Camino College.
Amy at Solana Community College Veteran Coordinator.
yeah, you're a star. You're from Yale. We're going to want your autograph later. Did we miss anyone here so we can get into the microphone? Okay, so with this, I'm going to turn it over to Jerry so he can give our presentation on CalJobs.
And because I didn't realize or think about that the people who are watching the archived presentation and only pointed to the program where we had the biographies, Maureen had already read Jerry, so now I'll read Maureen so you know who was just talking to you. Maureen White, EDD and SPHR, works for the Chancellor's Office in Workforce and Economic Development and serves as Vice President for Workforce Readiness for the Sacramento Area Human Resources Association. Dr. White is President Emeritus of the California Career Development Association and the Sacramento Professional Network. Prior to coming to the Chancellor's Office, Maureen was director of a WASC-accredited post-secondary vocational training school. She worked for Sacramento City College coordinating student service programs and as an adjunct professor for the Los Rios Community College District, CSUS, and USF, and maybe most importantly, both of Maureen's parents are veterans. So now you have both of the bios for those of you who are out there watching the archive. And so Jerry, come on up.
Thank you, and welcome. I want to add a couple of things to what my bio said. I am a Navy veteran, 67 to 71, but I'm also a product of the community college district. Started attending college at Foothill Junior College in 1972, and then got my 2-year degree from De Anza a couple of years later. So, and I credit one of the instructors from Foothill with teaching me how to think. When I went there, I was going a couple of semesters into school there, and I was a C student. You know, I was kind of getting into it. First time I'd ever went to college. Fresh out of the military, was having a little difficult time with it, and then I took this class from a guy named Joe Gallo. And Joe was an English instructor there, and I credit to this day everybody that talks to me about going to college. I bring up Joe Gallo's name because I thought he really made an impact on my life, and taught me what I say is he taught me how to think. After attending Joe's class, which I did very well in, I went from a C student to an A student. And really got involved in the community college. So, you know, the people that work at these colleges that serve the veterans, you know, do make a difference in our lives. And we, that sticks with us forever. So just be aware of that. I want to talk to you a little bit about EDD and the VETS program with EDD. But I have a question for you folks first. And when I say the name Employment Development Department, what do you think of when you hear that? Okay. A lot of unemployment insurance, how to find jobs. Long lines. Okay. So some of you are aware of what we do in workforce services. I equate EDD to like General Motors, because General Motors made several different lines of cars, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Chevrolet. EDD is a lot like that too. EDD is not just unemployment insurance. EDD is workforce services. It's the tax branch, it's the labor market information division branch, and the disability insurance branch. And you can't go to an unemployment insurance office and get disability insurance services there. You can't go to a disability insurance office and get help with unemployment insurance, the same way you can't go to a Cadillac dealer and buy a Chevrolet. So a lot of people don't really understand what EDD does. And that's one of the things that we try to educate people about, that workforce services is the employment portion of EDD. And we provide the services not only to veterans but to the general public to help them find jobs. In the state of California, the Veterans Program employs about 225 veteran representatives statewide. These 225 people provide the services, the case managed services that helps veterans to become employed. We have a software program called CalJobs that's been in effect since the late 1990s. We are now in the process of updating that program and coming into the really the next century with a new program that will broaden the spectrum of what the old CalJobs has been doing. And that's what I'm going to give to you today as some of the updates and some of the things on the new CalJobs that we are dealing with. And this program, we're hoping, and I'm not really sure, but it's probably going to be rolled out maybe first quarter of 2013 or somewhere around there. And it's really the state of the art program. A lot of the states have already have this in place, but most of the states, it's a specialized program, and in California is the same way. California is huge. We have a lot of problems that other states don't have. So this VOS system that we're using is being specialized just for California. So it's taking a while to get everything that we need out of that. There's a lot of testing that needs to go on with it. As soon as it's rolled out, we're very excited about it. Hope it's rolled out, pretty soon so that we can get to use it, because it really broadens the work that we do with veterans and with regular job seekers. I'm going to talk about the new CalJobs first. Then we're going to talk about Veterans Benefits 101, which is a new website for veterans, and I'll give you some background on that. Then Maureen and I are going to talk about the Sarah CalSHRM MOU that EDD and CalSHRM are putting in place to help veterans, and the new type of service delivery that we're involved in. I'm going to give you an update on the Governor's Interagency Council on Vets Employment Pod. Resources. When we talk about resources at EDD for veterans, for EDD, I talk about the programs that EDD has with the Veterans Program, and I'm just going to flip through some pages here because I've got notes that I need to look at a little bit. We have EDD Resources, Employer Resources, Occupational Resources, Sources for Women Veterans, Crisis Resources, and other resources. I'm going to put my glasses on here so I can see. The EDD resources that we talk about are on the website. There's an office locator that you need to be aware of. You can find the local EDD office to help your veterans. If there's a one-stop close to you, it may be listed under a one-stop, but there's veteran reps usually in most all the offices that are available to help help veterans. We have CalJobs, which is the internet system for linking employers and job listings and job seeker resumes. We do have information on unemployment insurance. We have information on job fairs and workshops, And we also have a link to the California Department of Veteran Services on there. For employer resources, we have the employer toolkit for hiring veterans that will be a link on the new website. USERA information and a link for strengthening military families. The occupational resources are the Veterans Benefits 101 link, which we're going to go into a little bit later. The Turbo Assistance Program, which is resource to aid in the transition for military personnel to civilian life. Women's Veterans Resources is the Center for Women's Veterans Fact Sheet that's associated with the Department of Veterans Affairs. Frequently Asked Questions page. And the Survivors and Dependents Assistance web link, which is information on the Dependents Educational Assistance, which provides education and training opportunities to eligible dependents of certain veterans. Crisis resources include homeless veterans, Veterans Crisis Line, and survivor benefits. Additional resources are the Veterans Connect request, which is can help veterans successfully re-enter civilian life by connecting them to veterans benefits and services, the California Department of Veterans Affairs, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, and the Veterans Retraining Assistance Program. The Vow to Heroes Act of 2011 includes the Veterans Retraining and Assistance Program, which offers up to 12 months of training assistance to unemployed veterans. This program was launched in July 2012, and we are now starting to see veterans that have completed this program coming into our offices to help, and we help them with the employment section once they have completed the training program. This is a brochure, a Trifold brochure, that's also on the website that gives you a little bit of information about veteran services. We're going to go over most all of these as we go through the presentation. And the next page is the new home page for the veterans program, for the veterans, for the new Cal jobs, and we're going to concentrate just on the veterans portion of this. As you scroll down through the website, the link under veterans is a search for where veterans can come in and search for services and resources without even having to log into the system. They can just go on and access this information without registering with EDD. The next page is just the services for veterans. Click on this and it gives you the Trifold, and below it is the programs and services that EDD has. One of the things in the middle, it talks about jobs, and all jobs posted in the new system will be automatically placed on a 24-hour veterans hold. We have that in place right now. This is important. This gives our veterans priority, especially a lot for our case-managed clients, that we can find these jobs, give them the information in advance so that they go out and apply for jobs before anybody else does. Services for vets is on the next page, and a lot of it is the stuff that we just went over, the EDD resources in the middle there, and the additional resources. It has a link to each one of those so that vets can come in. If they are looking for information, click on one of those resources and it will give them the information that they're looking for. This is the registration page in the new Cal jobs. This is under my portfolio, where veterans come in and they register, and then they choose the military service so that we know what kind of veteran that we're dealing with. We deal with a lot of older veterans. One of our issues that we have that we are constantly fighting against is trying to get the newer veterans, the newer release veterans, into our office. There's some that come in. You guys probably see a lot more of them than we do. And one of the things that we would ask you to do if you're seeing the veterans and they need help with employment services, to refer them to the nearest EDD office. We have vet reps there available to help them that are willing to deliver the services to them, to help them find either part-time or full-time jobs. One of the features on the new Cal jobs is it allows the veterans to locate military occupational specialties. They can put this in, and what it does, it converts that MOS, military occupational specialty, into civilian terminology so that you can see what you did in the military and what the civilian counterpart to that is. It's very helpful. There's been other places that have this, but you had to go to different websites, and now it's been incorporated into the new software. It also has a number of different search features on the new website where you can search occupations by military specialty. So if you know what your MOS is, you put that in, and you can put that in, and it will search for different occupations under that specialty. There's an easy to navigate drop-down menu and helps veterans provide accurate information. It's drop-down boxes, just pick them out and then go down to the search feature, and it brings up the information that they're looking for. Once you do that, what the system does, it will match the closest civilian occupation with the veteran's military occupation. In a lot of cases, vets want to stay somewhere close to what they did in the military. In some cases, in a lot of cases, they're not always able to do that because the types of jobs that they did in the military may not be available in the local communities. But this at least gets them a start. It shows them where to start. It gives them a path to follow. And if there's nothing there, then the vet reps that they're working with will help them to come up with occupations that are maybe close to what they did. Employers. Employers, very important to EDD. We work closely with a lot of employers. We have a position called the Local Veterans Employer Representative. This position works as marketing and outreach to employers for veterans. And that's really all this person does. They work with employers to get job listings, to promote the VETS program, and to promote individual veterans to these employers. In our new service delivery program, the employer portion is really one of the key components to the success of this program. And we're going to discuss that a little further into the presentation. Employers can log in to Cal Jobs, the new Cal Jobs, and they can go in and search for candidates for their positions. They can look specifically for veterans if they like to do that. It has a feature that's available to them in the new system that's not available into the old system. We can do a resume search in the system that we have right now, but it basically brings up everybody. So if an employer is looking just for veterans, and we do have that, employers request just veterans, this is much easier for them to use that with now. It gives you search results, and it says the system will indicate how many veteran resumes have been located, and then you can go by and click on these resumes and view the resume to see if this person fits the criteria for the position that you're hiring for. Once again, we're talking about job orders here for veterans. If an employer downloads their job order into the Cal Job system, it will still go on that veteran hold for 24 hours so that only veterans are able to access it for the first 24 hours. We encourage all of our veterans that are using our services, that are our case managed clients, to go on Cal Jobs on a daily basis and look for new job listings under the occupations that are specialties that they're seeking.
I have a question about the 24-hour veteran hold. What does it mean, a 24-hour veteran hold? At the end of 24 hours, just non-veterans would be able to apply for the same position?
That's correct. The Department of Labor requires that each state have a veterans priority in place. California's answer to that, because it's a web-based system, is the 24-hour hold. If you're registered in Cal Jobs and you're going in looking for jobs, if you're not a veteran, these jobs don't even show up. If you're a veteran, they will show up along with other jobs.
But after the end of 24 hours, say the position's open for 2 weeks, it'll still collect applications through the 2 weeks, and you'll just be thrown into the mix whether you had the 24 hours or not.
That's correct. Yes, that is correct. Question.
Does that mean that the employer commits to not posting on Craigslist or any other site to allow for the Cal Jobs to have the 24-hour hold?
No. Employers can list their jobs really anywhere they want to. Cal Jobs is just another portal for them to list their jobs, because to employers it's free, it's no cost. They can send us a job listing to one of our workforce services offices. Once they're registered, we'll put that job listing in for them. Most of them prefer to download the jobs themselves through their HR departments, but they're free to use any system that they want to. We don't require that they use our system only, and the new Cal Jobs actually has a spidering software that goes out and brings in all the jobs from Craigslist and any other job site. I think there's like 13 or 15 major job hunting sites that it brings all that information in, and all those jobs will be listed in one place. I don't really know of any other system that goes out and spiders that much and brings that many sites into one location. And that's one of the features that we are real proud of, because just about anybody can go in and instead of having to go to 10 different websites, they can go to one website and find the same information. Question?
Does your site give a preference to a disabled vet, like a point system they talk about for government jobs? On that site, say he's disabled, does it give a point structure for a job preference for that?
No. If you register as a vet or an eligible person, you get the same priority. The system isn't able to distinguish between a disabled vet to give them priority versus just a regular vet. The only priority that I'm aware of that you would get would be either in state or federal hiring, where you get additional points for being a veteran and more additional points if you're a disabled veteran. So if you're applying for those type of jobs, you do get extra points added to your test scores.
I guess I'm just on the 24-hour, but if it's a priority for veterans, but the position's open for 30 days until filled, how is that a perk for the veteran?
Well, it's the only priority of service that we have, that we can do on a website. It's difficult to hold that job order up for any length of time. We have an obligation not only to the veteran to give them priority of service, but we also have an obligation to the employer to list their job so that they can get as many candidates as possible. Because an employer, no matter who they list the job with, they're looking for the most qualified candidate. So we give them a candidate pool. Veterans just get the first 24 hours to apply for that job. If they get their resume in and they apply for the job, talk to the human resource people first, maybe that will give them some priority in hiring. But it's really up to the employer at that point. Question?
Wanted to comment on that, and then I have a question. It's like priority registration. You know, the advantage is
But it's not
the
like priority registration,
day.
because priority registration, you're actually taking a slot that is available with the class. This, you're not taking a slot. You're saying, I'm going to throw myself into an open waiting list that isn't structured with a hierarchy. So it's not really like priority registration.
I think the similarity is you have a day, and you can take advantage of that day, and you have access to all the classes that are available. If you miss that day, you can still try to get those classes, but your guarantee is gone. You know, it's that first chance that's provided. But when you were showing the screens about correlating the military training to jobs that the vets might be interested in, I was wondering if there's something similar for employers, or how much awareness is there on the part of employers about how specific kinds of military training can meet their workforce needs, and whether there's any education being done about that.
One of the things that we're working with employers in the Sacramento area, we're developing a new service delivery, and that becomes real important in the resume portion when a veteran is applying for a job, because a lot of employers will tell us, I get these resumes from these veterans, and they list all this military experience that they've got, and I don't really know what they're talking about. I don't understand this. So what we're doing is trying to convert that military experience over to civilian jargon, so that the employer, when they get the resume, they can understand when he talks about his military experience, that it's in terms of the employer's job. Really a targeted resume approach where we are converting that over in a way that that the employer can understand it, because we have employers that tell us that, you know, I get this resume and I don't even understand what this guy did. You know, what he's telling me, you know, makes no sense. So, you know, it just, you know, they just set it aside, and they go find a resume that they can understand. And that's one of the challenges that we have with the VETS program, and that's one of the things that we are making inroads in with this service delivery that we have started in the Sacramento area. And to a little further on your question there, you know, the 24-hour hold may not be, you know, the best of worlds that we could get, but right now it's the only thing that we've got.
No, I'm Marine Corps vet for years. I just feel like you're using a vet 24-hour priority when it has no real benefit to the vet. If it's a position that's going to be open until filled, or if it's going to be open for a limited amount of time, then everyone gets to apply.
Well,
I think it's misleading for veterans. If I'm going to pitch it at a workshop in the DRC, that's going to be the first question they're going to ask me. What does 24-hour hold mean? And I would have to say, well, it means you get to apply for that position before it goes open to the public. Well, the next question is going to be, what happens after it goes open to the public? Does that mean I'll be at the top of the list for review? Well, no, you're going to be shuffled into the pool of candidates when they go to review based off of minimal quals or how you get washed out.
And a lot of employers now are really giving priority to veterans, so that you get that resume in there, and that you are a veteran. They will, you know, there's a big push on, not only in California, but I'm sure nationally, to give priority to veterans. And if they identify themselves as veterans and they've got that in early, you know, it gives them a little edge maybe. But, you know, like I said, you know, it may not be the best, but it's all that we've got to work with right now. Yeah.
I see this as being good for lower level jobs, not for higher level jobs. Most lower level jobs are open until filled.
Entry level jobs.
Entry level jobs, cashier, bakery decorator, those kinds of things. So I think that because they're open until filled, that extra day might get them in tomorrow, the job's filled, it's no longer available. So it's not like a career job where they're going to leave it open for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and then look at all the candidates. I think that's its own usefulness.
Okay, thank you.
So I what is the ED doing to educate employers as to what the incentives would be on hiring veterans? How would it benefit your corporation from hiring veterans? So what are you doing that to frame?
Yeah, she'd like for you to repeat the question into the mic here.
The basic question, bottom line, is kind of long, but what is the EDD doing in terms of educating employers as to what the incentives would be in hiring veterans, so that maybe that 24-hour stagger doesn't necessarily help, but an education component might help in veterans receiving more job opportunities?
Yeah, we're going to cover that, but one thing I'm going to, we promote the hiring of veterans as a group because of the discipline that they bring to a job, the work ethic and stuff like that. As far as incentives are concerned, we do promote the veteran hiring through the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, and that's the tax credit that's available right now to any veteran, to any employer that hires a veteran. If they hire a veteran, they are eligible for a tax credit of anywhere from $2,500 up to $9,000, depending upon the length of employment that veteran has with that company. So the Work Opportunity Tax Credit is a big incentive for employers to hire veterans. The Work Opportunity Tax Credit unit in Sacramento is under my supervision, and I'll tell you, employers in California are using it to the maximum right now, because we get about 20,000 applications a month in through that. Now, those are not all veterans. There's other target groups that qualify for this tax group, but the veterans, we give priority to the veteran applications. They're pulled out separately and they're processed first right now. So that's a large incentive for employers to hire veterans.
Is that tax credit like $2,500 per vet hired, or is that as a whole out of their tax?
It's differing amounts depending upon what the veteran qualifies for. If it's a veteran on welfare and food stamps, he gets more money. If it's just a veteran that's been released from the military, he may only get $2,500.
Per vet, depending on
it is
which vet.
per veteran, yes.
5 vets, they could get more than
You get $2,500 for each one of them. Yes. Question.
How do we know which employers offer tax credits? How does that?
Which employers, she asked which employers offer tax credits. Tax credits are available to any employer in the state of California. All they have to do is register with the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, submit the paperwork, and it's processed at the office in Sacramento. Veteran staff, we've talked a little bit about veteran staff, about how many vet reps we've got working in the state of California. We have in the major offices anywhere from 4 to 5 vet reps. We handle veterans usually through a case managed program to try to help them find work. The new Cal jobs will allow staff to assist the veteran in finding services and resources at the local level. This is kind of like a calendar of events that happens in a location, in one office. And if the veteran needs orientation to the one-stop, or I'm trying to find some workshops here, and changing your career with precision, there's workshops that are available that they can click on to and go in and register for those and then attend those workshops. This gives them the opportunity to do that, so that they can kind of pick and choose what they feel they need. Was there a question in the back?
Are those workshops available by request to happen on campus?
Say that again.
Are those workshops available by request to happen on campus, or must the veteran be referred to go to one another location?
These workshops generally are only available at the one-stops. We don't have a large presence on any college campuses that I'm aware of. in the past, from my office, I've had people at American River College and Sierra College, vet reps stationed out there that are doing outreach to talk to veterans that are attending school, to refer them back to the office where the vet rep works, to help them with employment if that's what their need is.
Is there ways that we as college professionals can advocate for that, given the concentration of California's California veterans that are on community college? Is there a way that we can help promote or advocate for EDD to come onto campus?
Well, you certainly could, you know, and that's a little above my pay grade to institute something like that, but yes, it is something we do work as closely as we can with the community college districts, and there's a lot of programs that are right now that are in place that this new CalJob system is being instituted in the community college system, and EDD is partnering with community college chancellor's office to make that available to all the campuses. As far as doing the workshops and stuff, you know, these are generally 1-hour workshops. They're not long thing. They're very specialized, and they're just only given at the one-stops now. But if in the future, you know, I don't know. I can't speak to that as to whether or not we'd be able to take our show on the road and present them at the colleges themselves.
Does EDD provide any kind of financial assistance for things like uniforms or inoculations or physical exams that the employer might require?
No. EDD, the only thing that EDD provides in the way of compensation is unemployment insurance.
So if a student or a vet is applying for that job and can't afford it, is there some other place they could go?
Well, there's a lot of resources. In one of the slides that we went over, we talked about additional resources where there's vet centers and places like that will help them with those kind of needs that they have. And there are places available to, well, not only vets, but to, yes, we would refer them to one of those resources. And each EDD office has a list of resources available in their county.
There were campus-based work groups like Foothill DeAnza. We have occupational training institutes which work with EDD for financial support for short programs. And I imagine that will continue to go on. We have, as you're probably aware, the VRAP program, which is a 12-month training program. Is it possible for vets to get a double benefit there, that they would get funding through EDD as well as VRAP?
To draw unemployment insurance?
Right.
And go to the VRAP programs? Right. Certainly. Okay. They certainly can. We have a program called California Training Benefits that if they're involved in a federal training program, that where the feds are sending them to a training program, they are eligible to draw unemployment insurance and attend the training without, it relieves them of a responsibility of having to look for a job. In the back.
We got about 20 more minutes here, folks, and I still need to talk about employers. So,
yeah.
Just real quick, those videos, could they maybe in the future be online where candidates can click on EDD webpage and anything like that?
Well, you're talking about the slides?
Yeah.
Well,
the workshops.
this will be online. All you'll have to do is when this goes online is to register in CalJobs and go on there, and this is available to the clients. They can go in and look at this to pick out the workshops that they want to attend. It's also available to the staff.
Well, I think she means can the workshop video be available online to look at and watch?
Oh, the workshop videos. No, we don't have any workshops online at all. All our workshops are done in person.
Actually, is there a potential of videotaping some of those and posting them on your website so someone can watch that remotely, rather than interactive or watch it after?
You know, that's something that I could elevate, but right now it's not available.
And the reason I bring that up is to follow up on my colleague's suggestion about more integration between our two government entities.
Mm-hmm.
We
And I agree with everything that you say. And if I can move that forward, I certainly would. Okay.
So we're going to move the workshop forward to the next stop. Jerry, do you want to just summarize this, and I'll go into the next part of it?
This is just a summary for the job seeker, what's available to them. The system immediately informs the veteran or family that they may be entitled to benefits, and there's a link in there that will link you up with the Calvet system. The system helps veterans locate their MOS, military occupational specialty codes, that matches them to a civilian occupation. It's designed, has a designated area that links veterans to available state and federal resources also, which is Calvet and the VA. For employers, the Veterans Act mandates priority of service to veterans, which is the 24-hour hold, seeking employment and training opportunities. The system defaults all job postings to be available only to veterans for the first 24 hours. The system allows potential employers to search specifically for veterans as a default parameter, and the employer can create an electronic candidate search and be notified when veterans are found that match the search criteria that they're looking for. For our vet staff, the system allows staff to search, monitor, inform veterans of events sponsored by their local workforce investment areas. The system can compile and generate reports specific to veterans training, funding, and performance. And that's very important to us because we need to at times to know what's happening with that vet, and we can go in and create an ad hoc report to just see exactly where that veteran's at in their job search. The system has a designated area that links veterans to available online training, labor, market resources, and schools.
I just had a question about that second paragraph on the left. When you match up those things, suppose the veteran has no interest in doing what he did before, he wants to look for something else. Can you skip that part?
Certainly. Yeah, that's just an option that's available. If they were an infantryman and they don't want to go out in civilian life, and that converts really to a lot of law enforcement occupations, and they don't want to do that, they certainly can go in and just skip that and go on with just bypass it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, at this point I'm going to turn it over to Maureen. She's going to give you the information on the CalSHRM Sarah MOU.
Okay, folks, we're going to switch some energy here. We have about 15 minutes left, and when you ask questions, I'm going to be repeating the question to you and for the recording here. You already have my background. I'm currently at the Chancellor's office, and what I did, I've been on the local Human Resources Board, Sacramento Area Human Resources Association, for about 5 years on the board, and I've been a member since 1998. And I really appreciate Barbara here and Hortensia and those who have HR background. My HR background is there's about 7 or 8 different areas of human resources. Mine is in career development, training and development, workforce development. So it fits in really well, aligns really well with my position at the Chancellor's office, which is in workforce and economic development. So actually, when I went to interview for my position in January of 2010, one of the things that helped me get the job is, this is why we want our students to be volunteering and to doing internships. I was able to walk in, and is having a lot of my background, but one of them was I'm currently Vice President of Workforce Readiness for the Sacramento Area Human Resources Association. Everybody knows that's a volunteer position. But what I developed on that board, and after being at the Chancellor's office, and especially working with our new Vice Chancellor, Vonton Quinlivan, is I proposed a memorandum of understanding with EDD and with CalSHRM eventually. And what we're doing right now, I'm not going to pick it up because of the time issue, is we're probably in draft 5 right now of a memorandum of understanding here. And as you can read that, the relationship is really to support, to educate human resources professionals or employers, and to work with them in terms of getting more veterans knowing about the EDD services, the one-stops, the workforce services, and also what Jerry said, and I think he didn't have time to make a lot of comments about this, and some of your questions were very good in leading into this area, is human resources professionals do want more education on how do you translate military background into civilian terms. Human resources Services professionals want to be more involved in the workshops that EDD does to give more guidance and to partner with EDD professionals to be able to do job search workshops on anywhere from interviewing to resumes to how do you do social networking, all the kinds of workshops that Jerry and his staff and his colleagues do. We want to be more involved with that. So what we thought we would do is start with the Sacramento Area Human Resources Association and then scope it more so that it becomes CalSHRM, which is the California Society for Human Resources Management. There's a national SHRM, the Society for Human Resources Management is the national HR association, and one of their the goals and the priorities this year is working with veterans and supporting veterans to getting jobs. Now, one of the things that was mentioned at the luncheon today, and I don't know if Sharon mentioned it or the speaker before you, was actually it was Keitha from the foundation. It's one thing to have employers like Chase Morgan Chase, JP Morgan Chase say we're going to be hiring 100,000 veterans, or we're going to be purposing this many employers. It's another thing that is really important to know is that the HR professionals are the ones who do all the detail work that has to do with hiring anybody. So I may not be in the employment benefits, or I'm not interviewing right now. That's not part of the job I have right now. But you have the HR professionals are the ones you want to get to because they're the ones who know what job descriptions are coming out. They write the job descriptions. They work with managers to interpret that, get the knowledge, skills, and abilities on those sheets. They're the ones who do the recruiting. They're the ones who have to deal with affirmative action. They have to deal with any of the laws, policies, regulations that come out in terms of how you can and cannot hire employees. The other thing that we're working with, and Jerry and I've talked about, is there are certain things that HR people can and cannot do. So even though EDD would like to get feedback when a veteran is interviewed for a position and wants to know why didn't they get the job, there's certain FERPA regulations, there's confidentiality, there's legalities about being able to give that information out. So the way we want to work with EDD is we want to be able to have those upfront workshops, do coaching in terms of how you interview. And what we hope is that this is going to be scaled more than veterans. It's going to go to be able to have a working relationship with all people who are unemployed who are looking for work, because we have a lot of unemployed people in California. The CalSHRM website, I'm not going to go deeper into it because we have about 10 minutes left. You can explore this, but right on the home page you can see we all serve. That is the motto, or that is the messaging that's coming from the California Society for Human Resources Management. And as you go deeper, you're going to find out what kind of activities are being done statewide to support veterans. The other thing that you're going to find is there are 17 chapters, human resources chapters throughout the state. And when you look at that, you're going to find ones that are near you. And what I really encourage you to do, you're all the professionals who work with veterans, is to be able to pick up the phone, access an HR association, and ask for their workforce readiness vice president, and see who can come out and do some workshops on your campus, and who is working with employment development department in the workforce services part, not the unemployment part, the part that Jerry was talking about. The other thing that we're looking at is, how many of you are familiar with California Career Cafe? How many are using it? Okay, I really appreciate that many of you raised your hands, because I oversee this project for the state, for the community colleges. I oversee the Career Development Advisory Committee statewide, and we're getting ready to send out revised requests for applications or requests for proposals. And one of the major projects is going to be technical expertise. A lot of things that you're going to be seeing for job search is going to be on this site. And it's an important site to dig deeper. Veterans is the third thing under specials here on the right side of the screen, is to dig deeper and find out the materials that you can use in your classrooms to be able to contextualize any one of your programs, especially the career technical education programs, and be able to incorporate many of the materials that have already been developed so that you can use that for resources. And I brought It's a little difficult holding a microphone. But you've got information on Career Cafe. I'll pass it around. It's also on the table out there by your registration. Thanks, Barbara. So this calendar is going to be near your keyboard on your desk. And there are 2 websites you're welcome to use. And as Jerry mentioned before, we are going to be linking to the Cal Jobs. And when Jerry and I were driving here, it took us 2.5 hours to get here from Sacramento, one of the things we were talking about, and the reason he asked the question about your perception or what do you know about EDD, is Cal Jobs is not the way it was before. I've seen it demoed 3 times. It could be something that could be brought to you by EDD and how to utilize and navigate that site so that your students know how to go in, get in, put the information they want, be able to access the jobs. And what Jerry mentioned is true, and I know it's pretty frustrating, is you do have a 24-hour lock on jobs on Cal Jobs. So one of the things we want to encourage is more employers, which is what the HR Association, we have 700 members in Sacramento alone, to encourage employers to go and post their jobs on Cal Jobs. That may not be the only thing. Let's just see here. Okay, we have a few minutes left. Instead of going into the memorandum of understanding, the community colleges did one with Calvets, and it was with Jack Scott, Dr. Jack Scott, who retired this year, and the California Department of Veterans Affairs. So what we're hoping to do with this is to finalize this, get it signed, and use it as a blueprint so that HR professionals throughout California can be working with EDD to support our vets. How about some questions here? Questions, concerns, comments, and I'll repeat them for the camera. Yes.
The little one-page brochure that she's passing out, is it possible to get a stack of those into the college?
Okay, the question from one of your colleagues is this particular bookmark on California Career Cafe. Yes, you can do this, and what you want to do is when you go on California Career Cafe, there's a place to order. I put the homepage up, but there's a place to order, and on the second website on the calendar that I just gave you, that's the repository for the workshops, the repository for information, for materials you can use in your classrooms, and you can order these. Okay? Another question? Yes. You got it? That was what you wanted to ask? Okay, Romeo.
I have a question there was a colleague who shared in the room that they're a recipient of the Veterans Upward Bound grant. Is that person still here by any chance?
Upward Bound representative still here?
I think it was the only community college in California that got approved as one of the federal trio Veteran Upward Bound programs. I just wanted to see how the career development interfaces with Veterans Upward Bound because I was looking to see how we build resources so we could have holistic services, the counseling, the tutoring, the career employment. But maybe I'll try to look for them.
Okay, well, the question was, actually you got it, you have it recorded what Romeo just said. And that's a good point about the resources. What we're hoping to do in workforce division at the Chancellor's office is to put more resources on California Career Cafe. So this has already grown quite a bit since we first started developing it in 2010. And we're getting the financial resources to scale it more statewide. So if there are resources you feel you want on there, I'm not sure whether we're going to be doing CCC apply on this. There's going to be lots of resources because we want our students to not be confused and be able to go to one site to be able to look at assessments, resources, job search, and trying to make career decisions before they come to see a counselor, since we're having a lot of issues with students need to be more focused now, especially in this economy. Yes?
Do you offer any kind of inventory testing for students online?
Does Career Cafe offer any kind of inventory for testing online? Yes. There is a, let's see, you have it on this bookmark right here. Getting started is all about assessments. And they're not the ones that have, 200 questions. They're not Myers-Briggs or strong interest or some of the really long ones. But they do get students started to at least say, I'm interested in this. These are my values. This is who I am. This is what I did before. So those will help. And I really encourage you to go. Many of you raised your hand on Career Cafe, so check out the new bells and whistles. Yes? That's a good question. Is Cal Jobs on the Career Cafe? That is what we're working on right now. We are putting that link on right now. Any other questions? We got a few minutes before the session's over. Other questions for Jerry or myself? Yes?
Not a question, but just a suggestion that even though this is more career related, it would be nice if you guys could have a link to some various conferences and things that students can go to, because a lot of students make contacts with employers through conferences.
Okay, there was a good comment. I think you got that about contacts for students to conferences to be able to post something like that. That's a really good comment. I really appreciate that.
So there is a veterans conference coming up in January that, a national conference that will be.
Okay, there's a conference coming up on veterans in January, and that would be nice to post and have a link on that. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yes, Sharon.
Okay, I'll come to you. You got short-sheeted there. Oh, hello. Just to let you know that in the OCAD side of the house, we're required to have advisory meetings at least yearly, if not every semester, with our employers and also our higher ed and K through 12 associates. And I got thinking, what a perfect time for us to share with our employers, especially in the healthcare fields. They may not be aware of the credit they get if they hire a vet, the tax credit. What a wonderful thing for us to share as faculty and leaders in the community college system. Are you aware at our advisory committees, are you aware you can get a tax credit for our vets? Because I know, again, in nursing, we've had a large number of vet students come through. And what a foot in the door for them. So I'd encourage you to all go home and link up with your OCAD faculty and make sure they share at their advisory committees about this tool.
That's a great comment. I really appreciate it. Any other last questions or comments for Jerry, for EDD, for me, Chancellor's Office, or Human Resources Associations? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.